Right now, I'm heading to a writing group, and then I'm going to see my friend Sunshine. We have some things we're going to film and be creative. Look, there's SpongeBob. So that's my friend SpongeBob. Also, it was like 1,000,000 degrees outside, and by the time I got to my book club, I completely forgot to take videos. This is the group of femmes who I write with, and they are powerhouses writing big stories across the globe. Oh, this is Sunshine. She's so funny and definitely my favorite.
What are you eating?
Weird ass flavors. I did green chai, and then I had coffee with cacao nibs and pomegranates.
Wow.
It's a little bit
Special.
Once our bellies were full and we also got some content, Sunshine found this really cool hotel where we got some shots on a ledge. But I will say there were a ton of mosquitoes eating me up. But sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. The rest of the time going around town finding other cool locations, and we may have snuck into a building to get some cool rooftop shots that came out really beautiful. You may have seen it in my latest post for my song launch. This is one of the clips finally put together for the launch of The Stars in Me, which is also the song that you hear in the intro of my videos. Be sure to stream. Clearly, I was a happy clam. And then we ended the day with Italian pizza, my favorite. So it's a little dark in here. I just got home from an amazing day with my friend, getting loads of new content for my latest drop and just in general for my music, which I'm super excited about. It was so magical. Very, very tired, and I need to wake up early tomorrow and get some work done. Sometimes I look back at my life and I just can't even believe that I'm here right now. Literally can't believe I'm here right now. That I held on to my dreams and I kept the faith and I stayed with my prayers, and even though I had my own cycles to heal and people that I needed to let go of, because my lesson was that I could do this journey on my own because I'm worth doing it on my own, and that I didn't necessarily have to rely on other people. And that doesn't mean I don't have a community. It doesn't mean I'm not healing and growing and have mentors and stuff like that. It just means that I'm worth it just as I am. Just because I'm collaborating with someone or they're giving me something doesn't mean that that is the only way that I am valued. Reflecting on that and seeing how far I've come and making it through houselessness and poverty and still being able to go after my dreams while running my business and help other people do the same and channel messages. There's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. My friend asked me today about why Bougie Savage, and it came to me in a vision one day, and I could see myself in the future. Bougie Savage, Savage everywhere. And it was funny because when I decided personally to use that as my artist name, the next day one of my friends goes, "Hey, Savage," and so the universe was echoing back to me that I had accepted a new identity. And so I knew that everything was about to shift and change for me in a massive way, and I needed to be able to receive these blessings in this journey on my own, not with other people around. And I needed to learn all those lessons and how to manage money and grow and help people all at the same time and follow my intuition. And all that's to say that never give up on your dreams. Just please don't ever please don't ever give up. You will be surprised at what you can manifest overnight and the love that will come into your life. I love my community, and being on this journey, I never know how long I'm going to be around them, but I love every second of spending time with them. And the fact that me and my friend, we walk around with jewels on our faces, and she looks like a mermaid every day, and so do I, but in different ways. And they enjoy pizza and helping dogs and did all the fun things, and we also live our separate lives, which is great. It's wild because you don't really see the miracles coming, and even when you're in them, sometimes it's like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you get to that moment of, I literally manifested the life I was desiring. Like, what that feels like. I can't put it, I like literally can't put it into words, because it's like nothing I've ever felt before. And sitting down, and once upon a time I was like, I'm gonna make my YouTube monetized or go viral, or I'm gonna have clients, and I'm gonna move overseas, and I'm gonna paint on my balcony, and I'm gonna have fun, and I'm gonna fall in love, and I'm gonna travel, and I'm gonna do all these things. And it's just like, wow, what the fuck. Like, the whole reason why every day I wake up and I can't help but cry, and some days I'm so anxious because I'm like, old energy sneaking back. And then I have a massively beautiful day like this, where it's like opportunities just fall out of the fucking sky, and all you have to do is say yes and say thank you to God, and get up. And all day today I was dancing to my mantras for Lakshmi and Shakti and Ganesha, and yeah, it's so magical. I don't even know how to put it into words for people. Like, when God meets you with all of the love and happiness and blessings and peace, and it's like just this feeling of not wanting for things anymore, and not being scared of houselessness, and not feeling like my body is being abused, and all these things. It's like, it's so much more than peace. Like, I honestly don't know how to explain it. And because I always have visions beyond my visions beyond my visions, as Regan Hillier says. I have my visions beyond my visions. I cannot wait to see what happens next. I don't know what else these fucking gifts can do, but I'm gonna keep finding out, and I'm gonna keep sharing with you all, and I'm gonna keep teaching you everything that I know, and things I learned from my guru and my teachers and my masters. And because there's nothing like being connected with the universe in this way. It's like you can't help but feel love, like you can't help but feel happiness. You can't help but feel like a magnificent shiny star. As cheesy as that sounds, it's true. Inner child is so held and seen right now that it's, I feel like I can't even believe it sometimes, that this is the path. And it reminds me of when I began this journey, and I had this phone call with someone, and it was the last time that I had decided that I was going to, years ago, apply for a job. And it was this like third party things, like a staffing agency, and I just felt called to talk to them. And I talked to them, and they were all these synchronicities, right? And his voice started to change, and I feel like that was the first time that I encountered like a different spirit. To this day, I don't know if it was like an icon on the other side or something else, because he out of the blue started talking about Michael Jackson and his story and Neverland Ranch and all these things. And I lived in Santa Barbara, and we knew about the place near Lompoc, which wasn't far from me. And I was like, yeah, I know where that is. And I had decided then to push my music forward. And my coach had told me, you need a music lawyer. And then I manifested a music lawyer. And I was debating on what to do. And I had that phone call with this person. It was like a very destined phone call to help me decide. But whatever the energy was on the end of that phone, you know, back then my gifts were different. They talked about Michael Jackson and their story, and he just said, you know, like, towards the end of his life, it didn't really matter what Michael would say. You know, nobody would believe him. By then, many things about his career was tainted, and it got just very serious. Like, his voice changed. It was a different energy. Someone was speaking, and I just listened. And he was like, you have to do what you need to do to protect yourself and your music, and get the right lawyer and look at the contracts, because you will be basically, like, sometimes you can be trapped in them. And that's what he was saying. It was like he was more trapped than he thought, and people started seeing him a different way. And it was like there was nothing he could do at the end of his career. It was what it was. The public had already made up their mind, even if things weren't true. And I didn't really know what to say. And he just got really quiet all of a sudden. And then the last thing he said, he just whispered. He just whispered into the phone, and he said, God has a special plan for you. And I didn't say anything for a minute, and then I said, what? And then click, hung up the phone. It was so weird. It was so weird, but it was so cool. And I sat in the car, and I was trying to process what happened. And so when I say, you know, like, trust in God, trust in the divine, trust in the spiritual realm, they're always looking out for you. Even people you don't know, you didn't think you would know. After that, I went on this whole adventure. And I'm still on an adventure. And I ended up at a Michael Jackson Vegas show. That was the coolest thing I'd ever seen. I got these cool Michael Jackson socks that were sparkly. And then I talked to my aunt on the other side, who is a huge fan of Michael Jackson, and I didn't know how to piece it together back then, but all I can say is sometimes you just keep going. God does have a plan, whatever that means, whatever that looks like. In due time, everything always works out.